I'd like some clarity on, you're saying you're going to lease this piece of property. From who?
From the Plaza Corporation, the family, yes.
So you're going to do that regardless of, this is just kind of a cordial introduction to us, correct?
Sure,
You're
correct.
just trying to introduce yourselves to us and what you're going to do there. I guess my only concern would be, I think, piqued by Susan's question, is the land going to be, just totally wiped out of beautiful trees and things like that, so that it's visually, coming up 93, we're going to see auction equipment?
Yeah, fair question. Currently, the owner has taken down a lot of the trees. He pulled a permit, I think, 6-8 months ago, really before we got too involved, and cleared some of the trees out of there right now. There's, from 3A, we're not expecting it. Now, we haven't got so far as, full engineering or site planning yet. And so I guess my caveat here is take caution, I guess. But as we look at 3A, going north or south and the topography, 3A is a lot lower than that site. I don't think you'd be seeing any equipment from 3A. I think you'd probably see limited equipment from Hackett Hill. And one of our desires is to achieve visibility from 93. Visibility is important to us. There is a stretch of trees that's in the DOT right away that currently limit some of that visibility.
And I would just like to ask our DPW director if he had any concerns about the weathering of the roads from the extra traffic of the heavy equipment. Are we going to be seeing a lot more potholes, a lot more road wearage from this heavy equipment? Because it looked like from your Maryland site, a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 pieces of equipment. I mean, we're not talking 6.
Yeah, fair enough.
I worked for a construction company for 2 years and know very well, or I can remember very well, the number of pieces of equipment in the state of New Hampshire. It's not that many. So I kind of think there's going to be some stuff coming from other states. It's not going to be just
Sure.
material or so. I mean, I'm so thankful that you're opening up because it shows goodwill and stuff, but I'm concerned about seeing signage and all that, the roads.
You want to?
Yeah, I can touch on that real quick, and that's a fair concern, and I'm willing to answer it. A lot of times, if that is a concern, for example, if our route is on Hackett Hill into the site, first of all, it's a real small stretch, which is great. The trucks can get off the interstate, take a right on Hackett Hill, and within a quarter mile you're into the site. So you're limited road impacts right there. I think if there is a concern from that, from potential additional impacts from its current condition, then we're willing to talk about it. And if it's something that the town, when we get to that point, feels more comfortable with a bit of an agreement, a developer's agreement, if you will, that says additional impacts beyond current conditions that we assist with the payment for those improvements, we're willing to talk about that. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jim.
That section of Hackett Hill, I do believe, belongs to the state, or is under the control of the state. And, oh, is that true, Leo? Yeah. And isn't there on the right-of-way, there's a conditional right-of-way across from Hackett Hill into the Palazzi property that only can be used by Palazzi? And I don't know if it's transferable or whatever. There was something about that with the, when Cabela's was looking at that.
Yeah, and I can, if you'd like, I can touch on that real quick too. We've had discussions, and we continue to have discussions with the DOT. I think you're 100% correct, and so regarding the access. And I think that we're going to be able to come to an agreement to make everything work. I think everybody that we've talked to so far, and Joanne, and a lot of the feedback with Dr. Schenkel, et cetera, has been, let's try to keep the traffic off of 3A. It's congested enough, and so we've been talking, and the DOT agrees in our prelim conversations that, hey, let's see if we can navigate it using Hackett Hill.
Jim, go ahead.
So the old entrance to Palazzi off of 3A is not even being considered?
Right now, no.
Okay.
Probably be keeping it for fire access.
So that's pretty steep.
Exactly, yeah, it's a big grade.
Okay, thank you.
And you still need to go through planning board, zoning board, work with DOT and so forth. So as and introducing us to the project, which, as Nancy said, is certainly a good gesture. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, just to bring up tree cutting. Palazzi pulled as I mentioned, they did pull a permit cut, and so I think that's going to happen no matter what.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Yes, Mr. Limbo.
Question for the town administrator. Would all these approvals have to go with a butters approval and stuff like that?
Well, I mean, anything that goes to the planning board, butters are gonna be notified. I think they might have some things that need to go to the zoning board. Once again, the butters are gonna be notified, site plans and stuff. So they've got a process ahead of them. This, like everybody said, this is just a courtesy visit to the council. They're in town, and when you know they're in town, what they're doing, but they know they have a process ahead of them.
Okay, any other questions for the gentleman?
I just have one. Have you ever done a study of the average number of nights that your bidders stay in the town when they come to an auction?
We have, I was leaning to Ben there, we've done economic impact studies in numerous other cities, and it was more based off, it's really hard to put a thumb on. So the short answer is we don't know the exact numbers. What we have been able to pin down is our economic direct impact from sales tax, et cetera, which is fairly significant. But the actual numbers of heads and beds, if you will, we don't have an exact number right now, I apologize.
There is an easy, I mean, a simple answer to that is our sales start in the morning, and we normally run for 5, 6 o'clock at night on the bigger sales. So it just kind of makes sense if you're coming from a long way away, you're going to stay 2 nights in it. When I travel to the auctions, I spend 2 nights because it is a long day. And that seems to be pretty common too.
Okay, and Susan is our planning board rep, so she'll be
Bring you again.
for asking you more questions at that point. So,